Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a mini McDonald's. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please do remember to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what I should make next. This is the amount of space required to make McDonald's. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Begin by placing a terracotta on the ground. Then place 3 white concrete on top of it. 1, 2, 3. Extend to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then place 2 white concrete extending down with a terracotta to connect down to the ground. We then want to continue extending from the 10th white concrete block backwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then once again we want to place 2 white concrete extending now with a terracotta to connect to the ground. We then want to return back to this 8th white concrete and extend across the back of the build until we line up with where we started on the front. We then want to place 2 white terracottas extending down with a terracotta extending down to the ground. We then want to extend and join the terracottas together from back to front, and then fill this entire wall section in using white concrete. Like this. Next, we want to add some detail to our walls. To do this, we will come all the way to the front right hand corner of the build and extend this terracotta here to the left by 1. In the ground, extending left, dig a row of 3, 1, 2, 3, and replace those blocks using terracotta. On the end of this row, we want to place 2 terracottas extending to the left. We then want to place white concrete on top of each one of the terracottas on the ground, connecting up to the frame of the build, and then fill this empty space in between these 2 walls using black stained glass pane. Next, we want to make the entrance, which is really simple, as all we have to do is add a layer of black stained glass, 1 row inside of the left side of the restaurant here. Then add a layer of glass pane to the right of this, and then suspend an end rod in front of the middle glass pane. And then that gives us enough room that we can walk in and out of our restaurant. So now we want to come to the right side of the build, and we'll begin by connecting the terracottas together front to back on the ground. Then on the left, we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3 white concrete, leave a gap of 2, and then fill the rest of the wall in using white concrete. So, where we left the gap, we also just want to leave above empty as well, and then we can add some black stained glass pane onto the right side of this hole, which is going to be the drive-through window. And then on the back of the build, we want to come all the way over to the right side here and place 2 terracotta extending across, 1, 2, dig in the ground 2, extending left, 1, 2, and place terracotta in there. Then place a row of terracotta extending over to the left. Place white concrete on top of the terracottas on the ground to fill in the walls, and then last but not least, fill in this empty space using black stained glass pane. Next, the roof. Begin by placing a layer of red concrete all the way around the edge of the top of the walls of our McDonald's. Then we want to add a layer of red concrete on top of the walls. And then for the final layer of the roof, we want to place a layer of red concrete that sits above and inside of the empty space that is left by the previous layers of the roof. The end result should look like this. It's now time for my favourite part. We're going to add the M. First of all, we want to place yellow concrete on top of the first layer of the roof, both above the middle of the window on the right side here, and above the empty space where we would actually walk into McDonald's, like this. We then want to extend the yellow concretes each upwards by 2, place a yellow concrete extending up and inwards from both of those rows, and then connect them together underneath diagonally, and then we can drop that down a row to give us the iconic golden arches. Next, we are going to work on the outside. I think the best place to start is with the drive-thru. We want to have a row of 3 grey concrete that extends up the left side of the McDonald's here. From the front to the back, we want to extend across the back, maintaining a distance of 3 blocks around the outside of McDonald's, extend all the way to the front, and then across, and we want to line up with the edge of the window on the front of the build, and then continue to dig forwards. So we will create this shape, which we can now fill in with our grey concrete. With the road for the drive-thru complete, we are now going to add some pathway, some boundaries, and some decoration. First of all, we are going to dig out the first row of the grid, weaving in between the 2 bits of road that we've made, and we are going to replace what we remove using smooth stone. This is going to be a pathway which can connect to a sidewalk. Next, we want to add a layer of oak leaves all the way around the outside of our McDonald's. This will sit nicely on the white concrete of the grid. Next, we want to add another row of leaves left of the window on the front of the build, leading from the wall of the restaurant to the pavement. We also want to add some poppies in between the drive-thru and the pavement on the right side of the build, and all the way over here on the left, extending from the front left-hand corner of our McDonald's to the pavement, which then allows us to dig out the remaining grass in between the flowers and the leaves, like this, and we can replace all of this using smooth stone. Now, moving towards the back right-hand corner of the build, we want to add a little mini order board and a speaker box. We are going to remove these 2 leaves here, and then build up a 2x3 row of white concrete. Add polished blackstone buttons to the bottom, and then we want to add a bunch of 1x1 paintings to look like different pictures. We then, next to this, want to leave a gap of 1, place a polished blackstone wall with a note block on top, and there we have an order board and a speaker. Next, we want to make a mini sign at the entrance of the drive-thru, which I want to make the banner for, first of all. So throw down a loom, open it up, place a red banner in there with yellow dye. We want to apply the inverted chevron pattern. Grab that, put that back in, place red dye in there, and then we want to apply the chief indented pattern. Put the banner back in with some yellow dye and then apply the pale Dexter pattern. Put it back in, then apply the pale Sinister pattern, and there we go, we have our banner. So this is going to be placed on a pole which is made using light grey concrete on top of not the first leaf, second, but the third leaf here. We want to place 1, 2, 3 light grey concretes on top of each other, with a red concrete in front of the center. Extend left and right. I said that in reverse, but you guys get the point. Smooth quartz slabs above and below, and then suspend the banner from the center smooth quartz slab. And there we have a little McDonald's sign. With the outside of McDonald's finally complete, we are now able to head inside and begin work on the interior. So the first thing that we have to do for the interior of McDonald's is replace the floor using oak planks. We also have to fill the ceiling in using red concrete. Next, we want to make the kitchen area. Begin by placing a row of 3 red concrete extending right of this back window. 1, 2, 3. Then place an oak trapdoor, red concrete, and then extend the red concrete to the right wall, like this. We then want to add a layer of red concrete on the ceiling that follows the path of the red concrete below. We are now going to add sea lanterns inside the front of the red concrete shape that we have on the ceiling. Along this back wall, we want to place a light grey concrete in the corner here, with 2 blast furnaces on top of each other. Place a light grey concrete to connect to the ceiling, and then an iron trapdoor in front of the bottom blast furnace, and a stone button in front of the second. This will actually flip the iron trapdoor up and down. Left of this, we want to place a furnace with a detector rail on top. Above this, a polished deep slate stairs, and then a polished black stone wall above. We then want to place 2 terracotta next to this furnace, with a brewing stand on top of 1 terracotta, a flower pot on top of the other, a lever above the brewing stand, and a tripwire hook above the pot, and then a couple of 1x1 paintings above all of this. Next, we want to add a smooth quartz stairs in the corner of the counter space, with a heavy weighted pressure plate next to this, and then somewhere along here an item frame, bread inside, and then a flower pot on the corner here. We also want to add some alternating white and red carpet in front of the counter space here, like this. And then, in the back left corner of the restaurant, we want to add a couple of smooth quartz stairs, end rods in front of them, smooth quartz stairs on the opposite side, heavy weighted pressure plate on top of the end rods. Then we can place a painting above this if we so wish. I think that this will stay there with the pressure plate. Sometimes these things are a bit funny. That's perfect. And that's the painting that I actually want. I don't know why. I like to believe that that's what Ronald McDonald looks like without the makeup. Next, we want to place a self-service machine, which is going to be a light grey concrete, equidistant between the glass block here and the smooth quartz stair here. Smooth quartz stair on top of the light grey concrete, stone button in front of the light grey concrete, and then a 1x1 painting in front of the smooth quartz stair. I'm not sure what to do with this door. Like, should we add some white concrete above here? Should we extend the glass blocks up? Should we just leave it alone and stop damaging the roof? So many options. I think I'm just going to leave it. I think that looks fine. And with that final bit of detail added, we have fully completed our McDonald's. Please do remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys will want to watch some of my other videos as well. You know where to find them. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.